Hello and welcome to Eat and Listen. I'm your host Daniel and this is the Novation X-station synthesizer. Let's get over the specifications. It's a 3-oscillator synthesizer with the ability to make 2 of the oscillators into FM operators. The synthesizer also has 2 LFOs, 1 multimode filter with both 12 dB per octave and 24 dB per octave slope, 3 envelope generators, 1 for amp, 1 for filter, 1 for FM, which is an AD envelope with velocity. Also found in this synthesizer is a very groovy arpeggiator section and some very super rhythmic sample and hold waves in the LFOs. Found in the oscillators are the standard classic analog waves and some very interesting digital waves to make sounds sort of like the PPG wave, the Waldorf and the wave station EX and etc. Using these waves with either the 12 dB or the 24 dB per octave low pass, bump pass or high pass filter, you can make some very interesting sounds and get some very nice qualities. Not found in so many synthesizers in this price range. In 2007 the price was approximate 6,500 US. This synthesizer is also a MIDI controller, an audio interface with 2 in, 2 out. It's 24 bits at 48 kHz, so you could call this a workstation synthesizer. You could, but no. A workstation synthesizer, as far as I know, needs a sequencer, and if it has a sampler, it's a fancy one. Yeah, so this is a little bit about its qualities and its specifications. Yeah, there's one last thing we have not mentioned, and that's this section here. That's the effect processor. Yeah, and I will just quickly go over the front panel here. So over here we have the oscillator section. You can select the wave, not the waves, but you can select the oscillators here. You can select the waves here, tune them, the level, LFO amount, envelope amount, sync. You have the filter section over here. That's the filter section, which has a very unique drive circuit. You have the LFOs here, and if you look closely, it says 3 LFOs. Yeah, not 2, as I mentioned before. And that's because this is also a MIDI controller, and since this is a MIDI controller, this can control other things, and therefore it has 2. It looks like it has 2 filters and 3 LFOs, which it doesn't have. No, it's 1 filter and 2 LFOs. Yeah. Also here you find an effect section. That's an insert when this is used as a MIDI controller. We have the arpeggiator section over here. We have the envelopes down here. You have a row of buttons here which controls the sections, so you can do some deep editing. We have the global settings over here. You have transport buttons, a panic button, a jog wheel, or yeah, whatever you would call this, which you can use for scrolling through sounds and such. You can also do that with the program buttons. Yeah, and then you have line output, headphones output, and also the monitor settings if this is being used as an audio interface, as I mentioned. Yeah, now let's get over the not so good sides of this synthesizer. So the not so good sides about this synthesizer is that the build quality is a little bit flimsy. You know, it has a crackling sound when you touch the front panel. You hear when I'm touching it, and I'm touching it quite lightly. I'm not, you know, putting a lot of pressure on it. Sometimes the potentiometers might change the values and a few other bits and bobs. Yeah, the only thing I haven't failed on this unit is the XY pad, the joystick, and the faders, and the keypad. Apart from that, and display of course, and the buttons, but the potentiometers and the encoders are horrible on this unit, and also the combo jacks. and the plastic casing. Yeah. But apart from that, it's, you know, a very good sounding synthesizer. It's so good sounding you can actually forgive about these wobbles, about the front panel being, you know, crackling noises. You have the potentiometers that are weird and so forth. Yeah, but you can actually forgive the synthesizer about that, because it's such a good sounding synthesizer, and it sounds really amazing. This was a little bit background about this synthesizer. If you want to know more about the synthesizer, you can read my review at vintagesynth.com/Novation X-station. Yeah, so if you go into their webpage, vintagesynth.com, go to the menu, look for Novation and then X-station, and then you can read my review. And also read what other people think about this synthesizer. Now, let's play this beast. And that was everything, ladies and gentlemen, and the last sound was called Audio Rate Mod 1. I'm your host Daniel. Thank you for watching, eat and listen. See you next time.